Bellina Show. Lunchtime. That's right. Lunchtime is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. The Louis Bellina Show, the Tuesday edition. Welcome. I hope you're with us in the first hour together. If not, welcome. Coming up at 12:35, I got to listen in A&M women's tennis. Last night, I think it was about 6. I don't think that was the exact time, but they returned. National champions return. And Coach Weaver and Daria, player that had, clinched and was so huge for them during the run. They met with the media, and we're going to listen into what they had to say. So that'll be 12:35. The celebration of the A&M Women's Tennis National Championship will continue. That'll be 12:35. At 1 o'clock, Olin Buchanan of Texags joins me inside the Charles Schwab studio. 150 Community Spotlight, United Way of the Brazos Valley. I had a question we started our day with. If you want to take a shot at, please feel free. But what's the toughest, grittiest A&M team you've ever seen? I think this Aggie Baseball team this year, it's got to be a top 3. Like, really, I think it does, doesn't it? I think that's the secret sauce for them. Yeah, it's got to be. That's the secret sauce for them. Because, everything you know about baseball would indicate that this team would probably have a losing record. You can't go 3-7 in games won. You can't have one starting pitcher for a weekend. You can't have one and a half players you can count on in the pen. Now, that doesn't work. They're going to be a expected top 8 national seed, and they finished 3rd in the SEC. And they had injuries too. So I think it's one of the toughest, grittiest teams I've seen. So 979-693-1150 is my text message number if you want to take a shot at that. 979-693-1150. You can text about anything, really, and light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. I wanted to share something. It made me laugh, and it brought a smile to my face because I like to celebrate great. This is not celebrating great. SEC country. I don't know why they picked the year 2015. Couldn't answer that. Don't care. But they did the worst 10 SEC football coaches since 2015. The worst 10 football coaches, SEC, since 2015. And it was a stroll down memory lane because I've forgotten some of them. Like the bad coaches, you just block it out. You freeze it out. Auburn has 2 coaches in their bottom 10. 2. Because Brian Harsin is the number 1. He has been the worst coach according to SEC country. He is the worst coach of all SEC football coaches. And this is a rogues gallery of bad coaches since 2015. Brian Harsin at Auburn. And the fascinating thing is, if you remember the Brian Harsin era at all, it didn't have to be that way. But before the offseason even started, after he was hired, right? And this is if I remember my Auburn stories correctly. He got into it with the BMAs. Like the real alums, the one with power and stroke, demanded that he keep a coach on staff. And he said no. He had his plan and vision. So before the first practice or whatever, he alienated everyone of power. They didn't give him money. They did not support him. Like before his first spring practice or whatever, his entire era from that point was doomed. My understanding also is at the end of the first spring, there was already an alumni base trying to fire him at the end of his first spring practice there. So his tenure went exactly. So was he a horrible coach? Or he just had his own people working against him, is my understanding. And then maybe he was bad, not an SEC fit also. So maybe it was the worst of all worlds, but my understanding of that Auburn situation, it was so bad. And Hugh Freeze, who just wrapped up his time at Auburn, was the 8th worst coach. I'll be honest, I have no idea why it failed that bad. It shouldn't have. But his stubborn refusal to go to the portal to get a quarterback. Did he really believe the 2 quarterbacks he had were the answer of the way? Actually, he did. Because wasn't it Bo Nix that went on to Oregon to end up an NFL draft pick, but for him, he couldn't figure out how to get this kid to throw a forward pass? Something like that. Hugh Freeze, the time passed him. It's simple. Okay. So Auburn has 2 of the worst coaches in the SEC since 2015. Fair enough. The other names bring back some awful, but since it wasn't us, it's even funnier, memories. And I mean scary bad. Number 2 is Chad Morris at Arkansas, which when he was hired, you're like, interesting. And from the start, it was obvious how in over his head it was, and it never got better. Like, I think Brian Harson's a better coach. They both failed spectacularly. I think I'd have Chad Morris in the 1 spot, but hey, that's a slap fight. Let someone else figure it out. This next one makes me smile. Jeremy Pruitt, Tennessee at 3. And Jeremy Pruitt was, oh man, he was a puppet coach. Because, oh, my head, I'm screwing it up. So the former Tennessee head coach who pulled a coup, he shanked the old AD so that he could become the AD, set her up to take her job, and then was the puppet head coach who had to approve all of Pruitt's staff hires. That was another one where that situation was so messed up. And Pruitt was probably a bad hire, but it was even worse. That was awful. Who was the coach that talked about champions of life? That wasn't Pruitt, was it? It couldn't have been Pruitt. Okay, this is where I'm reaching out for help. I need to know the coach that talked about champions of life. Because he has to be on this list. I don't think it was Pruitt, but for some reason I feel like it was a Tennessee coach at some point. Champions of life. Help me. Help me, please. The number 4 of the worst 10 coaches since 2015 is a classic. He sure seemed to have a ton of talent, but you could tell from their game day play, he sure had no clue what to do with it. Charlie Strong at Texas. Butch Jones. Dusty texted and said, thank you, Dusty. Absolutely, it's Butch Jones. That was the champions of life coach. Holy cow. And I don't think he was since 2015, but that was epic, all-time champions of life. That's a coach telling you, sure, we may lose on the field. Sure, we may never win anything, but and you know what? You want your players of your favorite teams to be champions at life. You want to be a champion at life. You want your kids to be champions at life, but when you're competing on the field, winning is priority 1. Champion at life is on the list 2. And in a press conference post setting, champion of life is not a excuse. It's not a viable statement of success or failure. And that wasn't the only Butch Jones statement that who was more confusing, Butch Jones or Buzz Williams? And yes, Phil Fulmer was the shanking former coach. Shanked the AD, took her job, and then got Pruitt the job so that he could run the football. It was, Tennessee was messed up. So messed up. But it was Butch Jones, champions of life, and Fulmer was the Shankadelic AD. Yes, that is. Thank you. Text messages. Appreciate the assistance. Back to the worst 10 coaches. It was SEC country, right? Number 5, this guy got a couple of head coaching jobs. At one point, he was like one of the great DCs, but Derek Mason at Vanderbilt. Yeah, couldn't do it. Number 6, this job should have worked. He still got another one, but it's not a P4. Billy Napier at Florida. Was his mistake bringing his entire staff with him to Florida? I will tell you when I see it's guaranteed failure, zero adjustment. You can make the adjustment, you make a mistake, you got to adjust. But when you see someone make zero adjustment and it fails again, you know they're doomed. That was Napier. No adjustment, no learning. So as great as he was at the G4, now G5, no, it's G6 level, no adjustment, no chance. Was he one of the worst 10? That's the only one on the list. Yeah, I know he was bad, but do you put Billy Napier on the Charlie Strong, Derek Mason, Chad Morris list? Because number 7 is Matt Luke at Ole Miss. That was an epic disaster. That was a classic epic disaster. Number 9 is, because only 2 coaches on this list, I went, Napier, is he a top 10 worst? Like, I don't have every coach from 2015 on. But it's so close. The only 2 coaches that went, really, Napier at 6. Number 9 is Will Muschamp. Was Will Muschamp at South Carolina one of the 10 worst? And I ask that because South Carolina is a challenging place to win. There's a reason why in their entire history, how many winning coaches have they had? I think you have to put the reality of the program versus the name on it as like a priority in the conversation. Is South Carolina a winning football program? Don't tell me they should. Are they? I think the answer is no. So if a coach goes there and he doesn't win, that's just equal to the current level of the program. And then blaming him is kind of odd. Like, I don't know. And then it's a coach who had a history for not winning at any of his head coaching jobs. So I don't know if I put Muschamp as one of the 10 worst. So Napier, maybe. Muschamp, probably not. Now, I've saved number 10. Maybe it's just because I worked 1 to 10. No. I worked from 1 to 10 for a reason as opposed to 10 to 1. Because number 10 is fascinating. It has a Texas A&M coach since 2015, because worse is a strong word. A&M football is not a history of worse. I know that I get critical. I know you get critical. I know we want more. I know boss is a thing, and I know Aggie fans have suffered. This is all reality, okay? But worse is not the correct word with Aggie football. It's the mediocrity that people have gotten tired of. It's the 8-4-ness of it all. That's what people got tired of. A&M doesn't clock in with 6s and 6s and 4 and 8s and 5 and 7s. That's A&M is known for nice seasons with nothing memorable, and that's just unfortunately kind of the historical norm. So worse, since 2015, worse. They said Jimbo Fisher. I was as critical of Jimbo as anyone. Jimbo suffered from the I'm not going to adjust. I'm not going to change. Right? That was his downfall. Because Jimbo, highly intelligent football coach. But he could not, did not, will not, would not adjust. That's it. So the game left him. But worse. And again, it's not like he started going 2-10. And any list that Jimbo to Chad Morris, Jimbo to Charlie Strong, Jimbo to Derek Mason or Matt Luke. Whoa. It was extremely disappointing with the Jimbo Fisher era because it was kind of an all-in commitment. I don't remember anyone saying during the Jimbo Fisher era, well, if only you had facilities, well, if only you had enough recruiting. But like, I've been an Aggie football fan or media and all the above since like 87. And over the years, the question of why is A&M football never got it done. And I've heard wrong AD, not enough commitment, facilities. Like over the years, what you need to win is shifted. I've heard it all. Wrong shoe contract. During the Jimbo era, am I missing something? Like there were no excuses. So, but worse. No. I got to say no to that one. He wasn't. It was disappointing. And it should have worked, to be clear. But the game had passed him. And he did not want to adjust. That's what had happened. His end years at Florida State were the red flag that you hoped it wasn't true, I guess. But they were true. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. This is the Louis Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. This is the Louis Bellina Show presented by CC Electric on the Zone.
For the complete contest and prize rules for 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, visit zone1150.com.
No. Come get it.
The Louis Bellina Show rolling on, hanging out. As you can tell, today's a big kind of hangout and, well, what's on your mind kind of day. And if you want to share what's on your mind, you text 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. We'll see what's up inside the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox and Texas Mobile One Lube Express, where they say, be good to your car. Your car will be good to you. How do you be good to your car? You take it to Texas Mobile One Lube Express. Pretty simple concept. Olin Buchanan in 40 minutes joins me here inside the Charles Schwab studio and Community Spotlight 150 every Tuesday. And today we will visit with the United Way of the Brazos Valley. And I'm going to ask Olin, I've got to, does he think that Jimbo was one of the 10 worst? Things didn't work out. Fact. It's frustrating. He was just way too stubborn. And that was the downfall. But 10 worse, I mean, I'm just going to say again, I can't put him on a list with Derek Mason, Chad Morris, and Matt Luke. No, I can't do that. 979-693-1150. I saw something fascinating. I don't know if it was last night or this morning. I don't even know who Next Round is. I could have Googled, but I was too busy staring and looking and analyzing. But if you took, and we're done with all the regular seasons, so we have the data, but if you took the 5 and they call it the most popular sports, football, men and women's basketball, baseball, softball, and I think that's accurate, the big 5, and you took the P4 schools, what is the average conference win percentage? In the big 5, the most popular is the wording. And it's football, men and women's basketball, baseball, and softball. Now you understand conference win percentage. And not all these sports are equal because, with football, conference win percentage, that's only 8-9 games. Baseball plays 50-some. Softball plays 50-some. So this conference win percentage ranking is going to be heavily determined by your diamond sports because combined, it's over 100. That's more than the other 3 combined. So if you're strong in diamond sports, you're going to be ranked really, really high in this Power 4 schools average conference average. Well, it found me fascinated. Like, did you know that Auburn, their average conference win percentage, football, men, women's basketball, baseball, softball, is 287? They're awful. Across the board awful. 287 in the most popular 5. 287. Penn State's 293. Mississippi State is 325. U of H is in that bottom quarter at 350. Kentucky's 356. South Carolina's 362. Arkansas's 395. So in the SEC, where it just means more. In the SEC, where we talk about, football, toughest conference. Softball, baseball, the elite of the elite. Basketball, it's the best. So that's kind of like 4 of these 5, but I guess when you're that tough, that conference win percentage is close to, you understand where it gets beat up. That's a lot of schools in the bottom quarter. That's your bottom end, but Auburn's the 4th worst of anyone at 287. That's pretty mutt-fest, is it not? Duke and UCLA are tied for the best. 750. That's pretty elite level stuff. Duke and UCLA are kind of tied for the best at 750. The top 4 are, well, that's ACC Duke. And then we get into Big Ten country with UCLA, Michigan, and Ohio State. UCLA 2, tied for 1, 750. Then 3rd, Michigan 717. 4th, Ohio State 693. Texas Tech. When you have a billionaire that's as bored as Campbell is, and he's writing checks all over the place, Texas Tech with the 5th best win percentage at 683. Who is number 1 in the SEC? The popular 5, football, men, women, basketball, baseball, softball. Anybody? I'll give you a second. Which SEC team is 1? Tennessee is not. They come in like 7th at 677. Vanderbilt ended up 10th. I threw them off the list completely. Let me explain. They don't compete in all 5 sports. They don't have a softball team. How am I going to rank them if they don't compete in one of the 5? I know that next round did, but no. If you don't compete in all 5, I can't put you on the list at all. Why are you on the list if you don't have 5? Well, they're 4 versus others. Nope. I tossed it. Sorry. Alabama is the SEC school ranked the highest. They're 6th in the rankings. If you do the average conference win percentage of the most popular 5 sports. Yep, they're 685. Alabama 6. Now, we live in a maroon and white world, and currently it's good. It's actually really good, right? A&M is, they're 11th, but since I threw Vandy out, A&M is 10th at 642, tied with TCU. But guess what? TCU does not compete in all 5. I threw them out. So A&M is 10th at a 642. 10th. Really, really, really good. 10th on all P4 schools. I point this out and I bring it up because it is Exhibit R when I keep talking about the strength of Aggie athletics right now. And this is narrowing it down. According to Next Round, it's not my words, the most popular sports: football, men and women's basketball, baseball, and softball. And baseball still going. I've been fascinated. I've been playing with baseball in my head. They got the 3 seed double bye, expected national seed. Have you started to think of what are they going to do in the postseason? Because the rules doesn't apply to the A&M baseball team at all. If they did, I don't think they'd be in the postseason because you can't lose 7 game ones and end up with their resume. It just again, doesn't make sense. But so trying to figure out postseason, okay, they got 1 weekend starter, 1 guy in the pen currently because Lions might be tired or something. So 1 guy in the pen, 1 starter on the weekend. That, yeah, but none of that has slowed them down. None of that has cost them anything. Will their luck run out? People say luck. Well, luck's not their story. They don't win on luck. Timely hits. The offense is so deep that somebody can step up. There's not a lot of luck in it. I mean, let me ask that question. Have you ever said, man, that's one lucky team? I've not used that word. I've not seen a line drive hit third base and shoot it into the outfield where someone vacated hole. They're not lucky. They execute. They do. So, expectation. I guess I know the men is they're going to be in a super, hosting or not, because this offense should mash and bash. And as far as pitching goes, for this team, it'll be great to not have to face the same team 3 times with the same pitchers. I think that will, I don't know how much, but I'm pretty sure that it will help to some degree the A&M pitching staff. So, yeah, I expect them to be in the super kind of as the men. And then we start getting into matchups. And, if you go by the D1 regional projection where it's A&M and Southern Miss, at this point I have to go, I don't know enough about Southern Miss baseball to give you anything on the intelligent side. So I can't make a projection or prediction of any kind whatsoever. So I don't know. And this A&M baseball team has defied everything. So why can't they go to Omaha? I don't know. They struggled down the stretch. They lost 2 of their last 3 series. When you get to the postseason, you just need one hero, one person to step up, someone to find their confidence. And I'm talking about pitchers. Offensively, they're just so deep. But I think super regional men is a very safe prediction, actually. I don't think I went very bold there, do you? No, it's not very bold at all. Do you have your expectation, prediction, projection for Aggie baseball? Or I don't know. With this team, I think it's just safer. Oh, I'm going to go so boring. I'm going to go coach speak. I don't even think I should say it. Well, I don't want to coach speak. But one game at a time? Oh, I think I just hurt myself when I said that. When we come back, I've got the Aggie women's tennis listening. They did their coming back home reception last night, like 6 o'clock, and Coach Weaver, Daria, player, clincher, one of the key roles, met with the media. Why don't we hear what they had to say about the national championship? I think that's pretty awesome, don't you? This is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Residential, commercial, and industrial services, it's what they do at CC Electric.
Home on the road or Omaha. You can hear Aggie baseball on the Zone.
The Louis Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. Halftime, 12:35. We're hanging out till 2 o'clock. Still to come ahead of us. 1 o'clock, Olin Buchanan of Texags. Inside the Charles Schwab studio. 1:50, Community Spotlight, United Way of the Brass Valley. Right now, the A&M women's tennis celebration. They got back last night, I believe it's 6 o'clock. And A&M women's national championship head coach Mark Weaver, he met with the media. Here's what he had to say. National championship, second time in 3 years.
Well, two in 3 years. Has it sunk in that you guys accomplished what you did last night?
I don't think it's quite sunken in just yet, but definitely we're all kind of running on fumes. It's been a long 6-7 days, and what warriors our tennis team is. Just amazing, the adversity we faced all throughout the tournament. About as tough of a draw as you could ask for, even just the timing of the matches, the late night hours, and just going into the season with just a lot of uncertainty and truly entering the season. I had a lot of concerns on how we would do this year, and to leave here with the national title, it really feels like a dream. We have high expectations every season. We had some unfortunate injuries early on, and even some kids we had signed that didn't make it on campus, and we had a short roster and very little margin for error to even perhaps worried about even maybe making the NCAA tournament. So to win the national title this season is just truly remarkable by the girls.
To some of the things you just said, did this team exceed expectations? And just what do you think it was about them that they were able to get that done?
I think we definitely exceeded expectations. A lot of the polls, the SEC had us picked 5th, and it's the girls just really pulled together, and they just made their minds up. We're going to get it done, and we had so many battles all throughout the season. And yeah, it's just truly remarkable how we peaked and played our best tennis once it really mattered. We had a very consistent season, but we really took it to another level at the NCAA tournament.
Is there any way to compare how the first one felt to the second one? What's kind of the differences in emotions or thought process after those two?
Total difference in emotions. The first year we won it, in some ways we were the favorite. It was kind of us and Georgia, but we definitely felt like we had the better team, and of course that was the first time to do it. This team to do it with so many things kind of thrown at us, in a way this one maybe feels a little bit better. So I love trying to prove people wrong perhaps, and this year the Aggies weren't predicted to do all that well. So to win the national title with this group, truly a great feeling, and yeah, it was just it's truly remarkable what our girls did this year, and it's just a testament to what they've done every single day all year. It's just they put in the work. There wasn't a day that went by where we weren't getting after it, doing the right things, them even doing stuff outside of the things that are pushed by us, and just kind of taking it in their own hands. Of what we ask of the girls to do is quite a bit, probably more than enough, and they actually take it to another level and do stuff on their own. So that's the only reason why we were able to perform in the situation we've been in the last 3 nights.
Late night became even later with the weather delay. Just what in the world do you obviously face it again, a couple years ago? But what in the world do you try and say to them to reset when a national championship's on the line?
Well, I'm always kind of looking for that little bit of an edge. I actually looked at it as a positive for us, and I went in and told the girls, "Hey, I know this is annoying, but I actually think this is to our benefit. We've been playing late at night under the lights. We're acclimated to the playing time and even just the visibility of the lights. It just feels different at night, and it took us a few games after the delay, I think, to kind of get our juices a-flowing, and then after maybe about 15-20 minutes after that delay, we really came out, and you could kind of tell we were running away with the match. We got the 4-1 win. I'm quite sure that was going to be maybe 5-2, probably even a 6-1 if I had to guess there. So, Auburn was favored at every position other than at one singles. They were heavily favored in the doubles. They were favored at 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I think there's a good chance we leave that 6-1. So just unbelievable performances by the girls.
You mentioned them being heavily favored in the doubles, and you guys had lost the doubles point the last 4 matches. What was the difference yesterday that you guys were able to get that point, and what did it do maybe spurring you on as singles went in?
Yeah, we've really emphasized the doubles the last couple of weeks, even though we lost 4 in a row, and I actually felt very good about the doubles going in. I felt like if we played our games, we definitely were going to be able to be in a position to win it, and at one doubles they had a lot of opportunities all throughout the set to kind of win that a lot more routinely than we did, but we've been just fine-tuning a few things, and I think we played a little more free. We talked about just going for our shots a little bit more, and take some calculated risks, and then also just on the other hand just doing the basics really well, and you could tell right from the start we were going to be in pretty good chance of getting that doubles point.
You're going to dial up a weather delay for all the big matches now?
Maybe so, yeah. I guess we're 2 for 2 with the lightning weather delays. So, it was amazing weather the whole entire time we were there. So it was really wild that just out of nowhere we had a light drizzle, and it was mainly just the lightning. It just kind of kept going off and pushing us back for 30 minutes. But, yeah, we definitely had some good fortune with the lightning weather delays, that's for sure.
Is there any kind of reset that can go on during those delays in that time, or anything to kind of help motivate that second half where y'all push for the championship?
Yeah, I think in a way it helped. I mean, the girls' bodies were pretty tired and worn, and if anything, I was thinking probably burn off the lactic acids a little bit. We got out there and sweated it out pretty good, and I really noticed kind of a pep in our step going back out in the singles, and we did have a little bit of a slow start once we got back out there, and in a way I really felt like we kind of got our blood flowing a little bit more energy. We seemed a little bit looser, and Luciana was struggling with the energy.
That was a Mark Weaver. It sounded like they cut him off at the end there. It wasn't me. addressing the media, their welcome home last night. One more, the player with the clinching point, Daria, met with the media, and here's what she had to say.
So take us through the clinching point and just the emotions that you felt afterward.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the best moments of my life. I feel like a clinching point, like literally everyone was so happy. I mean, I was trying not to think about it obviously during the point, but after the point, it was all of my teammates and all of the coaches. It was like an unbelievable feeling.
You know, what did it say about you guys that for all the obstacles y'all had to overcome that y'all were able to get to the top and win it all?
Yeah, I think that just shows like the type of girls and the type of grit that we train and practice every day, and I think that we practiced it every single day. Like, we knew we could do this. We are such a close-knit group, and we fight for each other, and I think that just really showed throughout these matches.
Can you take us through, you lost your first set last night. Just, how were you able to regroup and then, come out on top in that match?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty familiar with her. I've played her a few times over these past couple years. So after I lost the first, I just kind of regrouped, and I knew that I have to stick with my strategy and that it'll come. Like, I just have to be in the present moment and that it'll come with every single ball. And then James really helped me as well stay in the present.
Mark said he thought that the weather delay might have actually helped you guys a little bit. Just what were those moments like as you essentially got out, then went for a surge of the championship?
Yeah, I mean, we were used to playing late. I think it did help us, in fact, because we played under the lights every single day and Auburn didn't. And I think that when we came out, we were just super excited to be out, especially we've been in these conditions for the past 2-3 days. So.
Someone who maybe hasn't been in those kind of conditions, what's maybe just the biggest difference in playing under the lights late at night versus in the day?
Yeah, I feel like the lights are definitely it's always an adjustment playing in the day versus under the lights, because the lights have a different effect, especially when you serve and when you hit overheads and stuff like that. But I think that would be the main thing, and it definitely takes a couple of days to adjust to them.
When you were younger, did you ever kind of daydream about the moment of claiming a title, and did it live up to the daydreams?
I mean, yeah, I definitely had dreams about a moment like this. Like, when I was younger, I never really thought that it would happen, but I mean, here we are.
How would you just kind of summarize your time at A&M and just being able to go out on top?
Yeah, I think this was definitely the best 4 years of my life. I've met some of the best people here that I've ever met in my entire life. I met my best friends and the coaches. I mean, what amazing people, what an amazing community we have here. And I think that I couldn't have asked for a better way to end my career here.
What do you think's next for the A&M program in general as you guys, move on?
I think the A&M program will continue to build and get great girls and keep with this culture. I think the culture here no matter who graduates, the culture here is really set. And we have Lou in Lexington coming back, setting a culture and a standard for the program.
When you recruited, how much of it was an emphasis that a championship was possible here? But even with all that being said, did you ever think that 2 and 3 was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely emphasized. It wasn't really, it was very much on the progress. Like, if you work hard, if you get better as a tennis player, the championship would come. And then that's what happened. And they really emphasize that that's what they do here. They really build you as a player. And I really didn't think that it was possible. But I mean, I definitely actually did. Sorry, let me take that back, because I knew that all these girls are so amazing. We're so good. We're all just so good at fighting with each other. So I knew that we could do anything at the end of the day.
What makes Mark a coach that can win 2 national championships in 3 years?
Yeah, I think Mark is just such a calm and cool, collected coach, and he definitely helps you just stay calm and stay in the moment, and I think that that's what you need when you're a coach.
So what'd y'all do post-game celebration and just throughout the day-to-day as y'all made your way back?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a crazy post-game celebration. I mean, we finished around 2 a.m., so we were pretty tired because it was the 4th day or 3rd day that we had a match like this. But I mean, yeah, we just hung out. We were just so happy to have won a national championship after everything that we've done this season, and we're taking it all in right now.
I think that trophy was on the court in about 30 seconds after you had the winning point. Do you remember any of the on-court celebration, or is it all was it blacked out at this point?
It's a little bit blacked out. I just remember being down actually in the game, and then it was a deuce, and then I was just trying my best to just stay in the moment, and then I won the point, and I blacked out, and then I was so happy. I was just like, wow, we really did it. We did it.
What makes this group of girls this year so unique compared to the previous years you played with?
Yeah, I feel like this group of girls is just so unique. I mean, I mean, these are all of my best friends. I mean, I love every single one of these girls, and we all have worked so hard to be here. We've went through so many ups and downs through this year, and I feel like we finally came to the final goal here. So
that was our A&M women's tennis, national champion women's tennis. Listen in. Again, incredible. They've been to 5 straight Final Fours, 2 national championships, and with the second national championship, they've officially activated dynasty mode. That's incredible run, incredible national championship, and again, having to, I don't know, is it reverse sweep, but winning in the 7th, 4-3 over Auburn, that Final Four championship, and then they absolutely just, no, Georgia. I'm not a tennis expert here, but incredible Final Four matchup, and then just crushing souls in the national championship matchup. Congrats. We'll be back. We'll wrap up the lunch hour of the Louis Bellina Show. And lunchtime is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue, home of the green chili stew and the moist brisket, the ribs, and more. It's the Louis Bellina Show on the Zone.
Listen up, class.
The money machine is open now.
No.
Make sure to enter each week
Everyone comes out a winner.
at zone1150.com or through the Zone newsletter to win $5,000.
This is the Louis Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. Low cost, full service, best of all local. That is Schwab. How are they best of all local? Mark Sim, right here in College Station. You get to experience a modern approach to wealth management. Find Mark online. Look, you're going to be bored at work today. How many times can you check the email? Come on now. Check Mark out online. Schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated. Member, SIPC. This not just in. It was about an hour ago, but just found it myself. Softball, college. They've announced the All-Americans. At least Softball America has their All-American list. Congratulations to one Maya Perez, second team All-American Maya Perez, Texas A&M. Congrats. As you would imagine, there's a lot of SEC representation on the All-American list. Oklahoma has 4 players on the first team. Florida State has 4 players on the first team. Texas Tech has 4 players on the first team. And Florida State was probably the most tragic story of the regional round. You know, they felt slighted. They should have been a top 8 national seed. They lost their regional. They were one of 3 teams. Yes, A&M was one of them too. Oregon was one too. But still, holy cow, Florida State. 4 first-team All-Americans, and you don't advance out of your regional. A&M had 1 All-American, and it was second team. Oklahoma had 4 first-team and a second-teamer in their shortstop, Gabby Garcia. On the first team, Oklahoma, Florida, Texas, Florida, Alabama. That's the SEC was all over it. That's what A&M was competing against. On the second team, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi State, Tennessee. SEC all over it. A&M was going against the high-end other players. The weirdest thing about this is, how do you have the All-American list, 4 utility players on the first team and 4 utility players on the second team? That's a whole lot of utility. Because they got the infield catcher and 3 outfield spots, and I get there's a DH, but 4 utilities per. Don't care. Just something that caught my attention. I thought Alabama would have more. They were, the number 1 overall seed, but again, neither there nor here. But congrats to Maya Perez, second team All-American. She had a phenomenal year. She reached base on every single game in the regular season. That's hard to do. My sources, my people researched it. That's really, 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 really hard to do. Kendall Wells of Oklahoma had the greatest freshman season ever, first team catcher. Insane, greatest freshman season ever. And I know not most people are watching Aggie softball, but this weekend on the opening day, and Thursday, Friday, the opening days of the regional round, The SEC went 12-0. They won every game on the opening day, and they have 8 teams advancing to the Super. So half the Super Regionals are SEC softball teams. And I remember I asked somebody what happened, and they said in the SEC, it just means more. I'll be back with Olin Buchanan. It's the Louis Bellina Show on The Zone.
Everything in life has rules, and The Zone has prize rules for all contesting. You can check them out at zone1150.com. You may know you can win once every 30 days. There can only be one winner per household per month. You have 30 days to pick up your prizes. You have to be 18 or older to win. You have to present a legal ID to claim your prize. All prizes are non-transferable and not for resale. To make sure you do know all the rules, or if you have any questions about the prize rules, make sure to visit zone1150.com. Zone1150.com.